All right, guys, we're going to talk about the Palmetto State Armory ammunition today. We're looking at their AAC line. We're comparing the two specific versions you can see on the screen here. So we're looking at their OTM model. That's their own developed projectile, and then comparing it versus the Sierra Matchking model. So really the only difference here is the projectile itself. Everything else is produced by Palmetto State Armory. So I think one of the big things that we need to look at is pricing. So right now, the pricing on the OTM model is 62 cents per round, and the Sierra Matchking model is 80 cents per round shipped, again, at the time of filming. Keep in mind, too, that this is all before tax and shipping, so once you add that in, obviously the price per round will go up depending on your state. So one of the big things that you can kind of see here in order, I think, frankly, for them to kind of cut cost is how they package and ship the ammunition. So you can see here in the footage that the ammo is basically shipped loose inside the box. Unfortunately, you can kind of see this is what happens when it gets shipped loose. It just kind of falls around within the box. Now, whether that has any significant impact to accuracy, probably hard to say, but I think from an initial presentation standpoint, it looks a little bad that it's just kind of floating loose in there, specifically when you're considering these match grade ammunition. I know some of the other models or other brands that you buy, they come in a nice plastic sleeve for each individual round. That certainly would be nice, but that would add obviously significant cost to the ammunition. The other is I've seen, and I believe it might be IMI or some other brands, they just have like a nice little cheap cardboard sleeve that each one of the rounds kind of sits in just to keep them in place within the box. I think that would at least be a nice bare minimum upgrade. I don't know what that would do again for the pricing or how that would go with their production assembly line. So the box has claimed 2,700 feet per second for each one of these rounds. We got some chrono data with the new Garmin. We'll take a look at those. We'll be inserting some footage on that just to kind of show you what those look like. And we're going to definitely shoot this unsuppressed and suppressed. Okay, guys, let's take a look at the chrono data that I got using the Garmin C1. We're looking at, first of all, the OTM unsuppressed and the SMK unsuppressed. Did 20 shots from each one of the projectiles on the left-hand side on the OTMs. The average is pretty close to that 2,700, 2697.9. Couple of feet per second off the mark, so not too bad. Standard deviation 18.6, extreme spread 74.4. Would like to see that extreme spread a little bit reduced a little bit, but again, I think the thing that we have to keep in mind here is, again, this is a relatively inexpensive match ammo, factory ammo, and again, they likely have to cut corners somewhere, so you're not going to get some of those nice low extreme spread or standard deviation that you would from a higher end manufacturer. So again, on the right hand side, we're looking at the Sierra Matchking unsuppressed 20 shot rounds, and average is 2644, so a little bit slower than the OTMs. Standard deviation 35.9, so about double the OTM. And extreme spread on this one was really high, 135.2. So something was going on with this lot here, again, or I should say this box. Just kind of very inconsistent. All right, so then on this screen here, we're looking at the suppressed shot groups. So again, OTM on the left, Sierra Matchking on the right. What we can see here is the OTMs average 2705.6. Again, kind of basically at that 2,700 feet per second mark that the box claims, so that looks good. Standard deviation 27.5 and extreme spread 118.5. So again, this is, I think, again, showing some of the inconsistencies from box to box. Extreme spread and standard deviation from the OTMs jumped up significantly. Again, all from the same lot, just as FYI. And then on the right-hand side, you can kind of see the reverse is that this box of the Sierra Matchking, while suppressed, dropped a little bit on the standard deviation and the extreme spread. We had an average feet per second of 2655. All right, so that's a little bit of information about the Chrono data. We're going to go ahead and jump into the rifle setup that we're going to be used for testing this. All right, let's talk about the setup I'm using for testing out this ammunition. On the screen here, this is the gun that I'll be using in question. So this is a Precision Reflex Mark 12 Mod 0 upper. So it has the 18-inch Douglas barrel, 1-in-7 twist. It just made it to a Palmetto State Armory H&R M16A1 lower. I am using a Geisley 2-stage trigger SSAE. And then for the scope, I'm using the Leupold Mark 5 HD 3.6 to 18, utilizing the Tremor 3 reticle. So we'll be testing this ammunition both suppressed and unsuppressed. All right, guys, let's look at the targets here. So on the left-hand side, this will be the 77 grain OTM. On the right-hand side, the 77 grain Sierra Matchking. These are the unsuppressed groups. You can see on number 1 there, that's my first grouping with the OTMs, 1.24 inches. Second group, upper left-hand corner, 1.2 inches. Bottom left-hand corner for the third group, 1.12 inches. And the bottom right for the fourth group, 1.28 inches. So it comes out to be a 1.21 inch average group for the OTMs. On the right-hand side, group number 1 in the center is 0.97 inches. Group number 2, top left, 1.34 inches. On the bottom left is number 3, 0.61 inches. And number 4 on the bottom right, 1.48 inches. So unsuppressed, the 77 grain Sierra Matchking is 1.10. All right, guys, let's take a look at the suppressed versions testings. 4 different groups of each of the OTMs and the Sierra Matchkings. Middle group, number 1, shot group, 0.73 inches. Top left, second group, 1.04 inches. Bottom left, 1.94 inches. And bottom right, 1.80 inches. So average 1.37 inch. And I think, again, if we go back to, if you guys rewind back to the Chrono data, again, there was a significant change in the standard deviation and extreme spread. I think that likely caused some of the problems that we're seeing here with the average group going up from the unsuppressed. Okay, so on the right-hand side, this is the Sierra Matchkings, group number 1, 0.82 inches. Group number 2, 1.42 inches. Group number 3, 0.88 inches. And group number 4, 0.79 inches. So in totality, that's a 0.97 inch group average. Again, if group number 2 didn't have that flyer, this would have been really, really good. You could see 3 of the groups were under 0.9 inches. So definitely the gun is more than capable of sub-minute of angle shooting. All right, guys, thanks for watching all the way to the end. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. We'll definitely be having more testing in the near future. I will likely try to do a review of the Mark 12 upper itself, as well as the Otter Creek Labs OCM5 suppressor for that Mark 12.